The spirit of the season joins us this morning in the form of local singer Clark Hinckley, who has a new 3-song EP of Christmas songs that came out last month. He's been here before because not only is he a singer and a recording artist, he's also a local historian. He's got a whole website with all kinds of cool stuff about what's going on in this town, including the Loomer Opera House from the old days. Clark, good morning. Thanks for coming in today. So you were here last year talking about your music and your local love of history. What you been doing in the last year or so?
Just been working on some more music, and part of it was recording this 3-song holiday EP. Yeah, the Loomers, I was telling you, I got a couple old pictures. I'll show you later. It's hard to show pictures on the air, but...
Oh, I can do the theater of the mind, the play-by-play. So what inspired you to want to do some Christmas music besides the holiday season?
Well, you just, I had a couple Christmas songs. I have even more, but this is what I had right now. So I said, hey, I'll put them out so people can hear some new holiday songs.
Now, tell me the background of you and your musical history and also your recording history.
Oh, boy. Well, been singing since I was a kid up in church and all through the schools. It was great learning all that different kind of music, choral music, about harmonies and everything. And then I love all kinds of music, rock, country, all different things. And I've always written songs. I just always kept them to myself, and now I just started recording them and finding some great people around town, like Waldron Studio 88 is right up the road, and there's a guy there, Jim Wheeler, that I work with. And, having people that know how to record and mix and all that kind of stuff, too, to get your songs out,
Who were your musical influences? Who were the ones that really played a role in getting you started in this, and the ones who maybe you try to emulate?
Oh, boy. Well, I've always liked all different kinds of music, and, my dad would always play songs by Roger Miller and Johnny Cash and that kind of thing, and, Jerry Reed. I love Jerry Reed, just the ones that kind of are telling you a story, and it just feels like you're sitting down listening to him just tell you a story. Those are always awesome. And rock is like, I love all Van Halen and Aerosmith. And
your dad, my longtime friend, Henry Hinckley, probably listening right now, right?
Yep. Hey, Dad, how you doing?
Good morning, Henry. Good to hear from you, my friend, even though it's sort of by proxy here with your son, Clark Hinckley. So tell me about the songs that are on your new EP of Christmas songs.
Well, like the first song is called Snowfall, and that was basically, I was just hitting a chord that made me feel nostalgic, and I started thinking about, it just sounded like snow, when the snowflakes start to fall for the first time, so it's like that first time when the snow starts to fall and you start to get that sense of the Christmas spirit and all the nostalgia, when it starts to snow out, part of you is like, oh, we're going sledding and all that, you get back to your childhood and all those memories, and that's kind of what the lyrics try to reflect, is when the snow comes down, it's like all the memories are coming back at the same time, you know what I mean? And then the next one is called All Is All Right, and that's basically like the nativity story. I just had like this descending line, and it kind of sounded like, something was shining down again, and it just made me think of the nativity story. It's got that kind of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They get a little heavy. That's more brings in more like my Van Halen influence. I had a great guy, Mike Roberson. I've known him since I was a kid, and he plays awesome guitar. So he comes in on that song and makes it really something. And then the last one's called Happy New Year. I just always, we always have the Old Lang Syne. That's the standard. And sometimes it's fun to just think of, what would be my idea of this holiday song, how would I, and this is just, I'd say Happy New Year, and you try to find a little melody that fits to the words. That's the best time you get a best song, is when the words actually sound like they fit into the melody,
Well, you talked about the recording studio. Tell me about the recording technique, and is it just you? Do you have other people involved in these tracks?
Oh, this is, the first two, Snowfall and All Is All Right. I recorded them right up the road here on South Street at, Waldron Studio 88. They got a really awesome thing going on up there with lessons. They have open mic nights. There's a lot of musical talent, and that's just one of my cousins said, "Oh, you gotta go see Jim Wheeler. He's recording up there and all this." So I work with a guy named Jim Wheeler. He's awesome, and he plays a lot of instruments, and he does all the mixing and mastering. And so on Snowfall, there's a drummer around called Eric Wilson. He's awesome, and he put some drums on. And on the All Is All Right, I had my brother John, and Mike.
Who's a pretty good singer in his own right.
Yeah. He is. It's great. He helps me out with some bass parts and things, and like I said, Mike Roberson comes in and plays the guitar, and even had Val Timmons. She's a soprano up at the church. Had her come in and add some big harmonies on it. And then Happy New Year, I did that one up at in Haddam with a guy Eric Lichter at Dirt Floor Studios, and that's a really great studio in Connecticut, because that's where I'm recording my a regular album with. So while I was there, I was like, oh, I want to try and get this one done for the New Year. Yeah, so did that.
So a couple of projects, including this Christmas project and the aforementioned song Snowfall here from Clark Hinckley. Sort of an upgraded version of Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow from Clark Hinckley, the song called Snowfall. All right, a couple questions about that particular song. Number one, I heard it would sound like a flute. Is that an actual flute? Is it a keyboard, a synthesizer? How did you work that in?
Well, that one was on a keyboard. It's a MIDI, and you got to do what you can in the studio time that you have and with the budget you have, But it sounds really good.
Now, is that their keyboard, or do you bring your own in when you record at the studio?
Oh, they've got keyboards, and like I said, Jim's got a bunch of samples and all the, all that tech wizardry that they do. All those guys know what they're doing. That's why I just like to write the songs and sing them, and I say, hey, you know all the technical stuff, so it's great to have like Jim do that, or at Dirt Floor, Eric knows all that stuff.
And then I heard a little harmony on there. Is that you double tracking with yourself? Or is that somebody else? Who's the second voice I'm hearing there?
Oh, that's me. It's just a matter of, hey, I'm right there, so I might as well do it. I do it all by ear. It goes a lot faster and easier, And plus, if you got harmony, that's why they have family groups sound better together, is because you all have that same kind of resonance in your voice. So if you do the harmonies yourself, you have all the little nuances, and it has the same tone and timbre,
Clark, what's your recording history? Do you have other CDs out before this? I know that when we had you on before, you, among other things, had the song that you wrote called Romantic Willimantic. But what's your prior recording history?
I've done some jingles and a couple songs when I was involved with another radio show, and then when I first got really started, I've got a couple singles. I've got that ballad, and I've got another fun one about all the cartoons and things. I've just started with a couple singles to get the ball rolling, and now I've got an EP, and then hopefully at summer I'll have y'all regular CD out of 8 or 10 songs.
And this 3-song EP of Christmas songs came out November the 9th. How do people get it?
You can get it on all the digital platforms, all your digital stores, like Amazon, iTunes, Spotify. It's all over. I use a service called TuneCore, and it basically distributes it around the world. So it's available all around the world. And that's what I've found, too, is that you don't have to just put a poster outside your front door anymore. If it's available around the world, you can advertise around the world. So I try to do that.
What's it called?
The EP's called Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I just figured it had the New Year song, and why not make it a long title for a short album?
Clark Hinckley, our guest this morning, guy that's been singing for quite a while. We'll hear more of his music and more of his story after a break for the news, sports, and the weather on 14 WILI. What is your songwriting procedure? How do you go about doing that? Do you do it at night, in the morning? Is it after your Rice Krispies in the morning? Is it when you're driving down the street? How do you get inspiration?
Boy, it's all of that. Sometimes you wake up with an idea, and then sometimes you set your mind to an idea. Like with the New Year's, you just say, what would my take be on New Year's, or what would my take be on anything. And
what comes first, the music or the words?
That changes too. Sometimes you're just fooling around on the guitar and a certain chord strikes you and it gives you a sense of a feeling, and you kind of, so then the song lyrics will naturally follow whatever kind of feeling that tone's giving you. Or sometimes, like I like to do some of the history songs like I did with John Gray, or even Romantic Willimantic, where it's you get words together and you get all the words together, and then you try to find rhythms and melodies that fit to the words, because it always, sometimes you'll hear a song, you just know, like, they don't work together, they just got crammed together. You want to try and knit it together so the words feel natural.
We played the song Snowfall, a Christmas tune, in the last segment, but you've gone beyond Christmas with this little Happy New Year song. Tell me about the inspiration and the writing process for that song.
Happy New Year, it was just thinking I had some Christmas songs, and ended off, hey, Happy New Year. So I started just going with those words, and what came next is Happy New Year. And it just happened to be, thinking about on New Year's, everybody's just hopeful, and they got all their dreams and hopes that they're hoping will come true in the next year. So that was kind of what led to, Happy New Year, those stars in your eyes, dear, the stars representing the hopes and dreams. And it just, in that one, you just start singing one part, and sometimes, you write on the guitar and your melody comes, but I'm kind of limited on how good I am at guitar, and sometimes it's fun to write in your mind because there's no limitations in your mind. You just hear the song and the melody as you're writing it, and where it flows and where it takes you. And so sometimes it's on the guitar, sometimes I just kind of get a melody in my head, and that allows me to just take it wherever it can go.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, a song by Clark Hinckley. I hear voices on that one too. Now, the harmony voice is your voice, or is that somebody else this time?
Yep, there's Eric Lichter, where I recorded this one, added a bunch of vocals to broaden it out, and I've got one high harmony in there, and then he just kind of widened it out with a bunch of different more harmonies.
Now, when you write songs like that song, you actually write on the guitar. Would you ever write, say, on a keyboard or some other musical instrument?
I have a couple keyboard ones. I just haven't lately. I haven't been on the keyboard. It's just usually, like I said, the guitar, or just humming, getting the melody in my mind. Hey, whatever works.
Did you get an A in music when you were in school?
Not really music, all the technical stuff. I'd always sing in all the choirs and choruses. I do a lot of it just by ear. Trying to know all the technical stuff. That's when I'm like, hey, John, what's John knows the technical stuff.
Speaking of choirs and choruses, what are you doing on Sunday evening this weekend?
Hey, there's gonna be a big Christmas candlelight concert at the First Congregational Church in Willimantic. And I'll be just one of the performers there. It's it's December 16th at 6 p.m. It's going to have the main choir to give you all that good vocal stuff with the organ, and then the worship band's going to do some songs, and that's when they kick it in with the drums and guitars and all that. And then there'll be some other soloists. There'll be singers and instrumentalists, and I'll do one or two of my songs, and it should just be a great candlelight setting, get you in the holiday spirit. And hope you'll show up and listen and have a good time.
6 o'clock at the First Congregational Church this Sunday. Now, you talked about doing some of your songs. Would those be these new holiday songs? Snowfall, Happy New Year, and All Is All Right?
Yep. We're not really. I'm not really set with what I'm gonna sing, but it'll be one or two of these. Like the All Is All Right song. That's more of a nativity song, so that might probably be more appropriate for the setting.
Oh, hear Cupid calling, soon you'll be falling in love.
How about that? Clark Hinckley, our guest this morning. And Clark doing Romantic Willimantic, a song that came out last year. Now, that song is not on your Christmas EP now, is it?
No, but it's available everywhere.
Yeah, and just tell the people a little history on not just the writing of that song, but the inspiration for you writing Romantic Willimantic.
It just came about always hearing Romantic Willimantic, and I gotta write the song, and then I'm trying to write a musical with all the history of well, actually, I have most of it. It's got a bunch of history songs about Willimantic, and this would just be like the title song. It's just a matter of it's a local piece, so it's hard to put a lot of time and money into it all at once. Someday I'll get it all together. Like the Victorian Days is going to have an anniversary coming up, so I'm hoping to have that song out next year for that anniversary. I figure if I do keep trying to get his song done each year, hey, eventually I'll have the whole thing by 20 years. Why not?
Now, I remember when you were here last year, you had a song about John Gray, whose name came up earlier
Yep.
this morning, and I think you had a song about Silas Loomer too, don't you?
Yep.
So there's a good beginning for it.
I haven't got it recorded yet, but I gotta get the Silas Loomer one done.
Clark, this recording career that you've got with this new Christmas EP that's out with 3 songs on it is obviously a labor of love. But does the digital age give you a chance to do this that maybe a generation ago you would not have had?
Well, you're like I was saying, with they have platforms now like TuneCore where you can distribute your music all over the world. That's why they say it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's like you can get your music out, but everybody can get their music out. So you're really just a little needle in a haystack, and you get people got to find you. But having the access to take control of your own career and do what you can is a good thing. Back in the day, you talk about signing a contract. You're kind of signing yourself. You're saying, yeah, I agree to be in debt, because when you first sign a contract, they're paying for the studio and stuff at first, but it's actually going on your credit card. So you kind of got to weigh if you want to try and go your own route, or if you want to go into debt and hope that it takes off. There's a lot of options out there. It's a whole new day.
But I'm saying a generation ago, you'd have to go into a studio, you'd have to record a record, and then getting it distributed or played or exposure was really hard, almost next to impossible. That's more accessible now because of the internet and because of digital distribution.
Yeah, like the whole Spotify and streaming thing. It's like they say, you're not making as much, but it's more about exposure. It's really about getting found, because, like I'm saying, everybody can put stuff out now. So you've got to just getting found. And they say now, you don't need everybody to like you. You just need to find the people that are interested in your music. And if you find your crew, you can go along with your crew of people that like what you're doing. And it's all just kind of you do what you can do.
And on your 3-song EP of Christmas songs, another one you've got is All Is All Right. What's the background of that song?
All Is All Right is the nativity story. And basically I had just come up with this descending line, and it kind of just felt like a light coming down, and that just reminded me of the star on the nativity story, and just looked at the scriptures and tried to put it together in a way, and I tried to make it really dynamic. Like, it starts out acoustic, so you get that real intimate feeling of just 2 people in a stable, and then it blows up really huge when the host of angels show up to the shepherds to announce it. That's when all the big guitars, it's kind of like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra kind of feeling. So I just hope it's kind of a dynamic new way of telling the nativity story.
Is All Right. Clark Hinckley, one of the 3 songs on his Christmas EP that came out last month. And again, Clark, how do people get a copy of that? Download it, save it, listen to it?
It's on all your digital music platforms like Amazon and iTunes and streaming. And you can go to my website, clarkhinckley.com, and you can get them there. And on my site, there's links to my YouTube, and I'm going to try to have some videos out this week, right before Christmas. I was hoping to get them out early. We'll just keep working on them, so I'll hopefully have some videos out this week if you want to check my YouTube.
All right, Clark Hinckley will also be part of the concert at the First Congregational Church, the Candlelight Concert this Sunday at 6 p.m. Get the holiday spirit for that. Clark, good to see you again. Keep up the good musical work and the good historical work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.